What's going on, guys? So a very exciting video for today. Something that I didn't think I would be making, quite honestly, but as the title says from the video, I am taking this car to the dyno today. Now, for those of you who don't know what this car is, this is my 2008 Saab 9.3 Turbo X. There were 2,000 total made exclusively for the 2008 model year and only 600 in the US. Only 211 were manual sedans. Now, the observant viewer might note I got my tips fixed. I posted that on Instagram, so if you guys are following me on Instagram, you already knew that. But yep, the tips are finally fixed and it looks so much better. But yeah, taking the car to the dyno was always something that I've wanted to do. I was thinking about doing it with my other Saab. I honestly kind of wanted to do it to my Miata too, because I wanted to see if it could even make like 100 wheel horsepower. I think that would have been fun. But with this car, I do have some exciting things in the works. I'll just leave it at that. There are some exciting things in the works for this car, and that's going to get kicked off by taking it to the dyno. So with this heat, I'm going to be at the dyno. Right now it's only about like 9 a.m., but I am going to be at the dyno probably at almost the hottest part of the day. So they're going to have fans and everything in there, but I'm not expecting anything crazy. But this is really just for a baseline test for what's to come in the future. You guys can ask me. I'm not going to tell you what's going on until everything's finalized and I know what's happening. But let's go ahead, head off to the dyno shop. Dyno place, is that how you say it? And catch up with you guys when we're there, and we'll get some footage of the, we're gonna do 3 pools. So let's get to it. Guys, so the car's all strapped down. They're gonna do the first run here. Back inside here, let's see what it made. Max power 197 wheel, max torque 221. Yikes. Alright, so it's probably hard to hear me, but ran a little bit lean there as well. So that's might be a concern, but not really. I mean, it wasn't too terribly lean, but that power curve was not very smooth either. We'll see though. Run number 2. So it's at what, like 13? 13.
And really you want to be done where that red bar is roughly.
Oh, okay, so around 12, yeah. With more power, 216 and 244 torque. Alright, so as you can see, that one was much better. He used 3rd gear instead of 4th gear, so it was a lot smoother. So here we go, pull number 3 right here. torque, pretty much the same too. So the second one was a little bit more power and a little bit less torque. All right, you probably can't hear me at all. I'm shouting into the camera right now, but we're gonna do one from, this is the last pull here. We're gonna do it from the front of the car so you guys can see the big fancy F7 and everything. You're probably not gonna be able to hear much, but here we go. Check that one out. They've got a lot of serious stuff here, by the way. Okay, the red one. More power and slightly more torque. So 220 wheel horsepower and 250 torque. I literally just texted my friend right before this and I said, hoping for 220 wheel and 250 torque wheel. So guess I got that perfectly. Again, AFR, very similar. I just washed this yesterday and I park it under a tree for 15 freaking minutes. I am triggered. So triggered. All right guys, so that's it. There's the power numbers. They're supposed to email me the graph, so I'm gonna head home and then I don't know, we'll look at the graph some more. Like he said, it did run a little bit lean. The AFR was a little bit higher. It was around 13 instead of 12 where it should be. So yeah, for now, like I said though, I'm just gonna head home, wait for that email from them so we can look at the numbers a bit more. And like I said, I didn't just do this for fun. There are things coming for this car and we will be back here once those things are on the car. I'll leave you guys to guess what it is. But yeah, so I will be back here, not sure when. Still don't have everything finalized with the partnership I'm doing, but basically I'll be back here. Let's just leave it at that. So 220 wheel horsepower, 250 wheel torque. I'm just gonna stop talking and we'll look at the graphs when I get home. Alright, so I am back home. I have the dyno sheet here right in front of me. So let's go ahead and take one last look at it. Of course I showed these throughout the video, but I just wanted to talk about it a bit more here. So you can see run number 1, for some reason it's called run number 3, and then 4, and then 5. So as you can see, it got slightly better after each run in terms of power and torque. Now, of course, anyone who has a B284R knows that these motors are more torquey than they are powerful. But with this stage 1 tune, of course, JZW no longer does tuning. So when I do get this car upgraded and do eventually need a retune, of course, I'll be going with someone else. I've always preferred other tuners over JZW to begin with. Not to talk bad about JZW, they're not bad in any way. But just saying, that's just my personal opinion. So as you can see, I mean, all of them were very, very similar. There are little peaks here and there for whatever reason. This peak was around 4,000 RPM, and of course it dies off the higher you get into the rev ranges. So I've always told people, I feel like Saab motors are much more powerful in the mid-range, and this just proves it, because as you can see, once you hit 5,000, it dies off. So with that being said, guys, go ahead, leave your thoughts down below. Is this what you expected? I mean, of course you have to take into account drivetrain loss. Of course it is making way more than 220 horsepower at the crank and more than 250 torque. So with the drivetrain loss, we can of course assume that this car is making solid numbers at the crank. But we'll see how much this improves when I get the upgrades, we'll call them, which I'm not going to tell you guys about. You can ask them about them, but once they're here, I'll show you what they are. Again, nothing is finalized on that. So yeah, I'm going to stop rambling. As you can see, the car hits peak torque and stays there from about, what is that, 2,500 RPM almost to just about 4,500. So the torque curve is very flat. I mean, you can see it just spike up and then just stay flat, and of course the power curve slowly gets more gradual. So that's really impressive how flat this torque curve is and how much it pretty much stays at this peak the entire time. So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more content to come. I'm gonna stick this in between my SOC videos because I don't know, I just want to get this out there because I think you guys will be interested to see it. So more SOC content will be on the way, so don't worry about that. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.